everyone, and welcome to another Into the Void Real Review. This time, we are reviewing Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. This is directed by Kenji Kamiyama and stars Brian Cox as the voice of Helm Hammerhand and Gaia Wise as the voice of Hera. Major spoilers follow, so beware. This is like a prequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy in a sense that it ties in what certain wizards were doing back in the day when the infamous keep known as Helm's Deep wasn't always called Helm's Deep, but called Hornburg. And the thing is, you don't need to be well acquainted with the Peter Jackson trilogy or books for that matter to enjoy this on its own terms. This story revolves around three characters, those being Hera, daughter to King Helm Hammerhand, namesake for the keep that would become Helm's Deep, Helm Hammerhand himself, and Wolf, son of Freka, who is murdered by Helm within the first 10 minutes of the film by a knockout punch that would make Mike Tyson proud.
He's dead? You will pay for this with your life.
This sends Wolf into vengeance mode, where he goes into hiding for several years before surfacing to take claim on Helm's death and a hand in marriage to Hera.
Hera, daughter of Helm, I, Wolf, seek your hand in marriage.
Our fathers speak as if I were not even in the room.
I do not want to marry you.
When Helm narrowly escapes after a particular nasty siege from Wolf and his minions, with one being a traitor that used to be a trusted lord of his, Thorn, Hera must take up the mantle as the leader of the Rohan.
What are you doing? Rohan still needs you.
No, Hera. They need you. You must lead them.
I did skip over some major plot points such as the deaths of both Helm's sons, Haleth and Hamas, which enrages the king so much that after seemingly recovering from near death, he sneaks out of an underground tunnel to kill several of Wolf's men. Helm Hammerhand achieves a mythical status during this part of the story, single-handedly dispatching foe after foe at the gate of the stronghold of Hornburg, which would later be called Helm's Deep.
That Helm Hammerhand was human no more. He bore no weapon, and no weapon could smite him.
Before freezing to death. This may defy logic for anyone looking for believability, but if you are looking for that here, you're in the wrong place. After all, there are giant eagles and a sea monster that eats a giant elephant. Yes, those monsters from the Peter Jackson trilogy make cameos here. What's more, like I said before, a couple of wizards are mentioned here at the end, with Saruman actually making an appearance as a trusted advisor to the Council of Freylaf, Hera's nephew, who becomes the new king of Rohan after scaring away Wolf's minions with the armor of Helm Hammerhand, who by then was feared like death himself. Wolf, who is voiced most excellently by Luca Pasqualino, is eventually killed by Hera with a little help from her aunt.
You think I am afraid of you?
You should be.
You feel for his character in the beginning, but eventually hate him because he is so blinded by revenge. So much so that he has no honor or integrity left in the end. Hera, after successfully protecting the people of Rohan and rejecting being a leader, decides to meet up with a wizard who goes by many names, aka Gandalf, to talk about a certain ring, as in the one ring to rule them all. So, there you have the story in a nutshell. I enjoyed this animated movie that sometimes made me forget it was an animated movie, which I feel speaks highly of it. However, is it essential? Not really, but it does have some rather nice animation, even if I do agree that it gets choppy during battle scenes and moments of action. But honestly, it reminded me of when live action movies use the slow motion effect during their cool action scenes, so it didn't bother me much. An interesting side note, the movie is narrated by Miranda Otto, who plays Eowyn from the Lord of the Rings series. So do I recommend going to see this? Absolutely. I can't say that for that Marvel movie that must not be named. It's not essential, but if you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan like I am, I say you go see it. There's a lot to like here. I'm giving Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim an 8 out of 10. What did you think of it? Should they do more Lord of the Rings animated movies, or should they do an animated TV series? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want more of this content. Okay guys, see you next time when we venture into the void.